Cheers.
Cheers. Here we are.
Here we are.
Clink, clink the crystal.
The IKEA glass.
Oh, it's glass.
Yes,
It's glass.
it is glass.
Welcome to But I Won't Do That.
Your podcast about lyrics.
Videos, music, and whatever random things come into our head.
Yeah.
This is episode 5.
Yes.
We're doing a pretty old song today.
Listen, so there's a caveat.
Yeah.
I would say about this band. It is my favorite band of all time. So I when we started this, I was like, well, we'll never do a song by this band.
Yeah, I think we sort of had an idea that we'd only do really rip-worthy bands and songs, but that's not really feasible.
Well, but I do think that this song is so rippable once you really dive into it.
There might be some questionable.
Yeah, it's just, but it is still one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
I love it so much. So anyway,
but we're doing another old song, and I don't know, the listener, what age you are, and maybe you're younger, and maybe these are like songs you've heard of or maybe not heard of, and you can learn and hear about new songs. I don't know. I don't know what.
Well, because these are classic, like all of the songs that we've done. I think they've become, a classic song in the pantheon of songs, whether they are known for being bad or not.
Yeah.
We built this city
for sure. And we so hopefully no matter your age, you're enjoying our conversations. But I was trying to think of newer songs we could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of arrived at a good point that these songs, like any art, need time to be considered, reconsidered, and maybe even reconsidered.
They need a fermentation process or something. Like they need to sort of sit in the cultural consciousness for a minute where we can all think about them.
Yeah. And some of the things that we find online, they're things that they're comments, they're quotes that came out decades later even. So they really, to your point, needed to ferment and be revisited for us to have a fair discussion. I brought up to you this current hit maker named Tate McRae. She's a Canadian young woman who's charting.
Yes.
I think she's terrible. And it's not because of the style of music. As you know, I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I like Olivia Rodrigo. I just think if you distilled that type of music to its worst elements, that's Tate McRae. But it was interesting because I brought it up and you said that criticizing a contemporary artist, particularly a young woman, is dicey and is actually maybe not a great move.
It just rubs me wrong because I think that we are all finding our footing. Mm-hmm. And a young woman, like somebody kind of starting out, just trying to figure where she will fit. And if she's getting hits or whatever, who knows what's behind all that, what's pushing and propelling and actually lifting her. Maybe it's this PR machine, maybe, who knows, anything we find out later, like about even Britney Spears or.
Well, she's a great example. Britney's a great example of this.
Yeah.
Right. Because we could do this podcast in 2001 or something and shredded her. And we know a lot more about her now.
Totally. I mean, I remember when she was shaving her head and everything. And I remember in that moment, because that was, God, the height of paparazzi culture. And I remember thinking oh, this is really sad. This poor girl. I just remember feeling who is hugging her at night, or who does she have to talk to?
Right.
That has nothing to do with her money or her talent. That just loves her soul and her person. So anyway, I just don't want to touch anyone.
I love that. I love that how much emotional intelligence you bring to the show. I need more. And to be fair, there's nothing personal about Tate McRae. I just have heard my daughter playing her music and been sort of aghast at how awful some of it is, considering its hits. especially when I compare it to other women like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Selena Gomez. But let's get to today's song.
Like rip, not
Tate
rip.
McRae fans.
McRae.
Tater Tots, they call her fans, I've heard.
Well, that's a cute
It's
name.
cute. So Tater Tots, if any Tater Tots are listening, you're probably not. But if you are, no disrespect. So we're riding our bike this morning, as we do on Sundays, taking a long ride and talking. And we were on all kinds of different topics. And somehow via Tom Cruise, I think we saw a Mission Impossible billboard. We were talking about Tom Cruise for a bit. And we arrived at the story of Brian Williams.
Yeah.
The NBC anchor who was disgraced for telling a fib. And the story of Brian Williams, if you don't remember this, anybody listening. So Williams was a really popular host of NBC News, very charismatic and funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned him on 30 Rock. He on Conan.
Yeah.
He would be a guest on Conan. He was so funny.
He just like would come in. And that's how I thought of him. And then I was so shocked when, something. Also the father of Allison Williams from Girls.
From Girls, right.
And like just, I don't know. Nightly news guy.
Yeah. But anyway, he, in 2006, in the middle of the Iraq War, he told a story. I think it looks like it was told on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. And he talked about how he was nearly hit the previous month by rockets fired from Hezbollah while flying in an Israeli Air Force Black Hawk helicopter. And he tells this whole story about it. And it says the story was instantly criticized. The claim was drawn into question right away by Israel Defense Forces. And then later, years later, he then had to apologize and recanted his disproven Iraq story. But then, I guess, adapted it and said he claimed he was flying in a helicopter that had been forced down by being hit by an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade. Anyway, turned out to be not true. And
so he kind of doubled down, and then that wasn't true either. Like, why lie? Like, why recant for another lie? They're going to be able to find it out. Like, It seems like you should have learned your lesson.
Yeah, it says that Williams' helicopter was flying about half an hour behind. It was forced to make an emergency landing because of a sandstorm rather than an attack. And on February 10th, 2015, NBC News the president suspended him without pay for 6 months from his position. And then he was demoted to breaking news anchor for MSNBC.
Ooh.
But I think he's been rehabilitated. I feel like he's kind of back, and he's I don't know why he would tell that kind of lie. Oh, look at this picture. Aboard the USS Tarawa in the Persian Gulf, 2003. That was my first ship in the Navy.
Wow.
And that was really close to me. I was off. Oh, I just left the ship like 5 months earlier. Oh, missed my Brian Williams moment.
Shoot, and he's just sitting with the common man.
Yeah,
He's
sitting with the enlisted. Yeah, wow, that's cool. Anyway, and then as we're talking about that, I sort of what's that all about? But then it made us remember the Trump helicopter story. Now there are already podcasts dedicated to his tall tales, but this is the one about, he told a story about being in a helicopter with Willie Brown, the famous California politician. And the story, let's see, he was being asked about Willie Brown and Kamala Harris, who had a long professional and personal relationship. And Trump said, well, I know Willie Brown very well, before speaking about a time they were on a helicopter together. We thought maybe this was the end, Trump said. We were in a helicopter, and there was an emergency landing. This was not a pleasant landing. He then claimed the former mayor had told him terrible things about Ms. Harris. So the story is, they think the helicopter's about to crash, and so Willie Brown's last words would be, "Hey Don, let me tell you some shitty things about Kamala Harris."
Oh, while we're on our trajectory to our death, I just want you to know, Kamala Harris is a horrible person. Yeah. I'm even sure.
Yeah.
Who's even? Anyway, who cares? What? How?
Well, it got us just talking about ridiculous lies. easily fact checked.
Lies, yes.
Right, because then Willie Brown, of course, was like, immediately was like, that is so far-fetched.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
I mean, yeah, why tell the lie? Like, it's just so crazy. And anyway, yeah, that's right. We were just talking about lies, and then we were kind of thinking about songs with lies.
Songs about lies.
Yeah.
As it turns out, there are a lot of them.
There's so many. I was thinking of that song, Lies, 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 They're Gonna Get You by Thompson Twins, but maybe a little obscure, like no one would have heard of it.
Yeah, we kind of went through the list, which was sort of like, wow, there's a lot of songs. Most of which I wouldn't, they weren't sort of hits that we're looking for this show. But we did settle on a song by your favorite band,
The Eagles.
The Eagles. I love the Eagles too. And so today but I won't do that. It's the Eagles with.
Can I say it?
Oh, you can say it. I was rolling out the red carpet for you.
Thank you, babe. Lyin Eyes. This song, honestly, it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And in fact, I sang it to Ruby as my nighttime lullaby because it's a song I know by heart.
And that goes back to the episode 1 when I said songs get reconsidered. You hear songs as a child.
Yeah.
And there's just a song, a nice song. And then maybe you grow up and you're like, oh, wow, those lyrics are not what I would have imagined.
Yeah, kind of gnarly lullaby lyrics. But I mean, I sang Desperado, Lyin Eyes. All the Eagles are my bedtime lullabies to Ruby.
We were sitting in Manhattan Beach at this little restaurant having breakfast when we were talking about this song initially, and it had us looking at right next to on the sidewalk next to us. There was like one of these municipal, tourist maps of the town, and anyway,
a directory
for reasons we'll get to. It became relevant. Let's talk about Lyin Eyes, though.
Okay.
So, Lyin Eyes, by the way, it's Lyin apostrophe.
Lion, not lying.
It's a song written by Don Henley and Glenn Frey. And recorded in 1975 by the American rock band Eagles. Not the Eagles. Eagles.
Oh, Eagle.
With Frey singing lead vocals. It was the second single from their album One of These Nights, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 8 on the Billboard Country chart.
Wow, cross-charting.
It remained their only top 40 country hit until How Long in 2007.
It's this been going? That's
not.
Eagles.
That's not it. I don't know how long.
What is How Long by the Eagles?
Yeah, I don't know. From 2007, though. I didn't even know they were making new songs in 2007.
Oh, God.
The Eagles received a Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Performance by a Duo, Group, or Chorus. And were nominated for Record of the Year. Okay, we've got the cover of the single. Pretty 70s, huh?
Yeah, just 70s that cram them all in there.
What's the
those mustaches? The mustache of the 70s.
Yeah.
I feel like people are kind of trying to bring that back right now, and it's so like
the mustache game is lame right now.
It does not look good. I'm just gonna say on anyone. Sorry, all of you, Tom Hardy, anyone. No. And then the other thing is like, it always looks sort of weirdly Edwardian. Like, it almost like, where's your hat and your little walking stick and some sort of, I don't know, just chalk striped suit with three-piece little suit and a boutonniere. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the mustache.
Sure. No, I don't.
Like, you did that mustache when you were...
for Halloween, I was...
Ned Flanders.
Ned Flanders, yeah. Oh, diddly do, neighbors. Yeah, I mean, that mustaches don't work. Here they are, the rock, and here's Henley on the far right. Which one's Glenn Frey? Is he in the middle?
No.
I don't remember what Glenn Frey even looks like. Oh, is he on the far left?
I think that's Glenn right there.
Okay. I actually have a hard time even picturing what Glenn Frey looks like, even though he's...
Maybe this is Glenn Frey in the middle, actually, because he does have a heavy brow. Except I would say it's the handlebar. They had that handlebar mustache. So Hell's Angels. It's very...
It was very...
Yeah, handlebar... for a handlebar of a bike, I guess, a motorcycle or something. Like, you want your face to represent your motorcycle, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just sort of like out like this.
Yeah.
Some of those handlebars, though, really high.
Yeah.
It's be uncomfortable. What do you love about this song?
I just love the story of it.
Mm.
Like you can visualize this song as you hear it like unfolding. Like I picture this girl, for some reason to me she's from Texas. She's beautiful, like beauty queen. Like I just picture every single thing. I know what she's wearing, like everything. I love
Yeah.
it.
The first, going to the lyrics here, the first stanza says, "City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, and she don't have to worry. She'll dress up all in lace, go in style."
You know, like the city girl, they know how to open a
Yeah.
door with a smile. Like it's just something can you not conjure that up? Like some girl walking up and some guy like seeing this little hottie come up.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get that door for you.
Yeah.
And just, oh, thank you there, sir. Like
Yeah.
somehow she's Southern to me. I don't know.
Well, it is. I mean, it's like a country song. Late at night, a big old house gets lonely. I guess every form of refuge has its price.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks her heart to think her love is only given to a man with hands as cold as ice. So then, of course, he has to be old as the hills.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, so she's got all this money, like this, rich old man who opened the door for her. And then now she's like struck up a relationship. And then you picture like this relationship has moved along quite quickly.
It's a story.
Now they're married.
Yeah. No, they're married. Exactly.
Yeah.
But, and then before they get to the chorus, so she tells him she must go out for the evening to comfort an old friend who's feeling down. But he knows where she's going as she's leaving. She's headed for the cheating side of town.
We were that's what we were so confused about at breakfast. Like, oh, did you know there's a cheating side of town? Like everyone knows that. Oh yeah, that's over there.
The cheating side of town. It's a little choice words there.
It's on the map. Like
you got to look at the
cheating side of town, and then this is the regular side of town.
Yeah.
Oh, I live in the cheating side of town.
Oh, you're on that. Oh, that's true. You're on the cheating side of town.
Yeah, but I'm not a cheater. They had better rent prices.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there for the schools are actually better on the cheating side of town.
Are they? That doesn't seem possible if everyone's cheating.
That's why everyone gets great grades.
Because they're cheating, they're happy, they're sexually fulfilled. But this is
no, I mean, the students are cheating on their tests.
Oh, cheating in every facet of life. If you shop there, you're cheated on your
GPAs on the cheating side of town.
But all your grades are A's because you're on the cheating side of town. Like, think about the cheating side of town in every context.
Yeah.
Like hopscotch children, they're all cheating. There's no one not cheating.
The cheating side of town.
I have to go get more champagne.
All right. We'll pause there. Daisy.
And, sorry, Daisy.
Okay, so we got more champagne. Wow. Upscale today.
New sponsor.
Well, we don't have an old sponsor, but
we have no sponsor.
Voov. You want to get in the game?
I wore my sweater to match my champagne.
Look, Voov, we offered the spot to mums, and they didn't want it.
They didn't take us up.
So we'll offer it to you.
Do you want someone who swigs it out of the bottle?
Yeah.
That's us.
That's exactly what Voov wants. Let's go to the origins of this song for a second. So this is from Far Out Magazine.
Wait, let me look at that picture.
Oh yeah, here's a picture of them. Another picture of.
See, this is Glenn Fry. Yeah, it's the heavy brow over there.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Henley gets that like afro when his hair gets big.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. This is pre Joe Walsh, right? He hasn't joined the band yet.
Isn't that Joe Walsh right there?
Is that Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like Joe Walsh. You're right. I don't know when he joined. Okay, good call, babe. So it says, who was the Eagles song Lyin Eyes about?
Good question.
The author goes on to say that because Henley gave Fry credit for writing it for the most part, the assumption has always been that Fry suffered being cheated on and then lied to. But actually, on the contrary, the song came apart.
about.
Came together? I don't know. On the contrary, the song came apart during a particularly laid-back moment to Fry and the rest of the band, or for Fry. They were enjoying a meal at Dan Tana's Italian restaurant, Santa
I've
Monica
been
Boulevard,
there with
West
Billi and Alan.
Hollywood, which was frequented by the rich and famous,
Mm-hmm.
and you, I guess. The Eagles used to eat there regularly and were familiar with seeing young women accompanying much older men who were
Yeah.
ostentatiously displaying their wealth. On one occasion, Frey noticed a stunning young woman being trailed by a much older, fat, rich guy and burst out laughing.
I could see this. Like, that place is, honestly, it's been there forever. Like, Dan Tana's has been there since, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the 30s or something. But, and all the waiters are that same age. Like,
Oh, yeah.
have been there since
Yeah,
they
one
were
of those places, yeah.
19 or something.
At that point, one of the band exclaimed, "She can't even hide those lion eyes." They were suggesting the woman was pretending to be in love with the older man for his money. Henley attributes the statement to Fry, while Fry himself claims it was someone else in the band. From that single, the rest of the idea for the song came naturally. But it wasn't the first time Dan Tana's had served as a birthplace for an Eagles classic. A booth in the restaurant had been Henley's writing desk for the lyrics of their doting lullaby, Best of My Love. He even made sure to credit Tana's staff in the song's liner notes.
That's nice.
Okay. So,
Best of My Love. Oh, my God. I love that song.
yeah. So back to the lyrics, right? But so now, if we revisit that first verse, right?
Yeah.
The city girl meets the rich old man.
Yeah.
But quickly, the big old house gets lonely, and she's just like, no, I got to go help a friend who's feeling down.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, she's going, you can't hide your lion eyes, and your smile is a thin disguise.
Yeah.
But on the other side of town, a boy is waiting with fiery eyes and dreams no one could steal. So here's this young boy.
Right.
How old is she, do we reckon? Is this guy younger than her?
Well, he calls them, or they call her City Girl. So maybe she's quite a bit younger. Do you think the old guy cares though?
That she's cheating?
Yeah.
That she's going to cheat?
You think about like an old guy, like, well, first of all, at what point does the age difference become like a problem, do you think? Like, we say like the city girl finds the rich old man. What do you think the age difference is here? She's 22 and he's what?
I think he's 68.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're talking like
Why? Do you think it's
massive.
younger?
No, I'm not.
Because he's so stoked. I mean, also, how long does the intrigue last? Like her young nubile body or what, all that shit. But the thing is, like, you can't talk to this person about anything. Having a 21-year-old daughter myself, like, no, I think she's smart and everything, but it's just like,
oh my gosh,
what they're experiencing in life is such another realm. It reminds me of that movie with Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep, and she was like a baker, and anyway, they were exes, and he was remarried to Lake Bell. Like, did you see that movie? No. But anyway, the thing is, like, with Lake Bell, and this age difference was like, I don't know, maybe 25 years or something.
Okay.
And it still is like, he's trying to talk to her, and all she wants is to get kids and like all this stuff. And and they have kids. But what's funny about that kind of is that Alec Baldwin now has like 7 new children with this yoga instructor he found.
Yeah, well, good for you, Alec. Good job.
I digress. Yeah.
But so back to my original question though, do you think a person like that, he's found his trophy wife or his wife, whatever you want to call her, do you think he cares that she's cheating?
I'm wondering.
He's deluded himself into thinking she wouldn't.
So the thing, there's a lot of types of people, but one type of person, and particularly this is 1975. Did you say? Is that what? Mm-hmm. So pre-Viagra. So some guys are probably. It depends on if he's a pragmatic person or not, and he's like a businessman, and maybe now her sheen has worn off. They're married. Let's say they've been married for 3 years.
Yeah, if that. It's hard to say. They've been married one.
Well, I'm giving him a verse, but I'm going to give one verse equals 3 years. Okay. So now he's kind of like, yeah, whatever. You know, she's going to go comfort a friend. Okay, fine. Have a good time. Like, I know she's cheating. He knows she's headed for the cheating side of town. Yeah. So, you know, he can't satisfy her probably because he can't stay hard or whatever, you know? And so he's like, because there's no Viagra, what is he going to do? So he's just like, whatever, go get your, you know?
Yeah, I wonder because, okay, so it talks about her boyfriend. She rushes to his arms. They fall together. She whispers, it's only for a while. It's only for a while. Okay. But okay, so let me go through
She swears that soon she'll be coming back forever. She goes away and leaves him with a smile. She's just like biding her time for this guy to die.
Oh, is it like an Anna Nicole Smith?
That's what I think. Like she's old guy. I don't know.
Okay, well, I think now we're back. We're back now to her house with the old guy. She gets up and pours herself a strong one. She stares out at the stars up in the sky. Another night.
It's gonna be
a long one. She draws the shade and hangs her head to cry.
Oh, brother, girl, get a hold of yourself. You're the one who chose this, and now you're covered all.
She wonders how it ever got this crazy. She thinks about a boy she knew in school.
Yeah.
Did she get tired or did she just get lazy?
She got lazy.
She's so far gone, she feels just like a fool.
I mean, these lyrics are good.
These are great.
These lyrics are good. You can't really rip on this song because this song is like, I know we're not ripping on, but it's like, this is human nature. Like, this is shit that like, it's only in the aftermath that you realize your folly, you know? It's like when you're in something that sounds so good, like when you sell your soul for anything, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't really have experience with it.
Selling your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
But I can just imagine, like, there's little things I've done where I'm like, it wasn't worth it, you know, just something like where you just can realize, like, no, you just rather always be true to yourself and kind of like, whatever. Just.
Yeah. The great thing about lyrics like this, maybe aside from the cheating side of town lyric, that line is maybe a little, but is, you know, a great song lyrics, I feel like they have a lot of room in the margins for you to sort of guess and fill in your own details, you know? Like one I would ask here is like, why did she marry the guy? Right? Like, was it just like it was an adventure, it was fun, she loved the guy, maybe she grew up really poor, right?
But also, like, do you know the thing about the Eagles? Not the Eagles. You know what the thing about Eagles?
The thing about Eagles are nobody says that. Yeah.
No one. Hey, Eagles. No one says that. Sorry, Glenn. I know you're in heaven. But the thing is that these lyrics, all of these songs, I feel like they unravel a life. Like every one of them could be a movie to me. And the one they did make a movie out of Tequila Sunrise with they did. Michelle Pfeiffer.
With the Mel Gibson?
Yes.
Tequila Sunrise?
And Goldie Hawn's husband. Or not husband, but Goldie Hawn, you know.
Yeah, I like him.
I love him.
Wait, oh, yeah, right, exactly.
Russell.
Kurt Russell.
But
wait, Tequila Sunrise, the movie, they got the idea from the song?
Yes. You didn't know that? Listen,
sorry, babe. I don't know what Tequila Sunrise. Hold on. I'm going to my
Well,
my
it could be wrong. This is how I thought it was. I thought for sure.
I'm gonna be really thrilled if this is like.
Of course, because that's what this song is about. Those lyrics, like, and I think every Eagles song, could be Look at your Wikipedia page of Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah, well, it's the film. Look at the film poster.
Yeah. Oh, it's a triangle, a love triangle with Michelle Pfeiffer in the middle.
Back before people knew how awful Mel Gibson was. Let's see. Okay, what do you? I mean, I can barely remember this movie. What do you think you got in Rotten Tomatoes? What's your gut tell you?
Oh, God. I kind of remember liking it, but I bet it's like a 35.
Let's find out. Actually, I want to know the origins, though.
Also, babe, we can't forget to look up the songs that were charting.
Oh, I know. I got that next.
Okay.
Let's see. Wow, it was filmed on location in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, where we rode our bikes today. That's where we were having breakfast.
53. 53 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's better than I thought.
Oh, wow. This guy, the director wrote Chinatown, the screen.
Wow. But also, does it have anything to do with the song?
I don't see anything in here about that. Hold on, let me do
But didn't Eagles own Tequila Sunrise?
I don't know. We'll have to look into this more. I can see the name being inspired, but I don't know.
Because the love triangle was it was about drugs. Because I know we're talking about a different song, but that's another song I would sing to Ruby. It's another tequila sunrise, staring at the stars across the sky.
Well,
the days go by. And she wasn't just another woman. Yeah. This Michelle Pfeiffer, she wasn't just another woman.
Okay.
Working on the dream she planned to try, the days go by.
All right.
I think it's about her. I think they used that. Budding filmographers, look at the lyrics of Eagles songs and you can come up with a really good movie.
They did the work for you.
They did.
Done.
New Kid in Town.
Yep.
Done.
Yeah, easy.
Just
easy.
Go
film.
Look up the lyrics and you have your script.
Easy.
Okay.
Let's go to the Billboard Top 100 for 1975.
This is my favorite thing. We forgot it for one of
we forgot for Kokomo.
Kokomo.
Hey, it's all right. We'll get back to 1988 in another episode, I'm sure. Lyin Eyes. I mean, what's your prediction on Top 100?
11.
Yeah, interestingly, I mean, I'm gonna look at it again here just to make sure I've got this right. For 1975, not in the top 100. No, they had two songs. The Eagles landed, and for 1975, the Eagles landed two songs at the top. One of These Nights reached number 10. Best of My Love reached number 13.
Great song.
But that's it. That's all they had for the year.
Lyin Eyes.
Lyin Eyes.
Sir, I am sorry, but you guys are such idiots.
Number one song for 1975.
Love will keep us together. Can I just say something about
please.
this song?
I'm not sure I guess I probably know it, but
love will keep us together.
Okay.
Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet talking girl comes along singing her song. Don't mess around, you just gotta be strong, cause I really love you. This song is kind of sad because she's saying, when you want to cheat, don't. Just stop, because I really love you. I'm thinking of you.
So maybe the old man should have known this song.
Wow. So it's Love Will Keep Us Together by Captain and Tennille. Rhinestone Cowboy. Good song. Philadelphia Freedom. Good song.
It's a good song. I think for Elton, I mean, even by Elton standards, it's a little like...
Camp?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little much even for Elton. Although the picture they include of him is perfect.
Yeah, he looks like an elfin cowboy.
Elton John had 3 songs on this list, the most of any artist in 1975.
Okay, but then before the next teardrop falls, have no idea what that song is, and Lyin Eyes have stayed around. Everybody knows. Everybody could probably know.
Well, look, Frankie Valli at number 5. My Eyes Adored You. I mean, no.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Everything great.
Shining Star.
Cool.
Honey, you are my Fame.
Fame, good one.
David Bowie. So good. Laughter in the Rain by Neil Sedaka. Do I know that?
That one.
One of These Nights, Eagles.
In the 70s, you get some of these like older artists, like kind of still.
Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver. Oh. Our very first episode. Good job, John. Was Leaving on a Jet Plane. Thank God I'm a Country Boy. Okay, so then Jive Talkin' Bee Gees. Best of My Love.
Get number 15.
I'm sorry, but before 15 is 14, which is Minnie Riperton, which is Lovin' You.
Yeah.
Lovin' You. So, do you know this song? No, this song, okay, so listen, my dad died when I was young, but this song was one of my favorite songs, and my dad knew it, and we were very Christian household growing up.
Yeah.
And my dad brought me home this album of Minnie Riperton
Oh.
when I was little, and my mom was mad at him for this secular music.
Oh, she's secular.
It's very secular.
Okay.
But he would bring me home. I mean, it was so sweet. And my dad, he had a stereo store.
Yeah.
And he had to deal with non-Christians in there.
Oh, my. He coped, though. Let's see what else is on this really quickly.
Oh, you're 15 you wanted to talk about.
Well, 15 was... No, I just wanted to point out that it was Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah. Kung Fu fighting.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that, like, Lyin Eyes doesn't make the top 100.
Yes, seriously, sir. That's Ballroom Blitz.
Why Can't We Be Friends? Boogie on Reggae Woman
The
by Stevie Wonder. The Hustle.
The Hustle was a dance that I learned in school in 3rd grade.
I mean, there's some pretty good stuff on here.
But there's also songs I've never heard of. And Jackie Blue, I know.
No, it's not great.
Lucy in the Sky, Elton John. Mandy by Barry Manilow.
Oh, Mandy.
Have you never been happy? Olivia Newton-John, Have You Never Been Mellow?
Let's see what was number 100. Get Dancin' by Disco Tex and the Sexolettes.
Who are the
Hold on.
Sexolettes?
We're going to this one. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put some pictures of this. Here we go. Disco Tex and the Sexolettes were a disco group, we gathered that, of the 1970s, featuring Monty Rock III.
Sir, you are... No.
The band is best known for their 2 disco hits, Get Dancin' and I Wanna Dance With You. Do that dance. Wow. I'll try to find a picture of them. Oh, but their the song Get Dancin' was featured in 2 Simpsons episodes. In the 1990, wow, it's like a OG Simpsons. Bart versus Thanksgiving is performed by the fictional group Hooray for Everything. That's incredible.
How funny, Disco Stew here. But how funny that this song, Matt Groening, must really have some resonance with this band.
Yeah, because he featured a decade later.
Twice.
Yeah, Disco Stew's Hallucination of Heaven in the I'm Going to Praise Land. Yeah. So number 100. Wow.
I really want to hear it. Get Dancin'.
Yeah. Well, we can. Oh my God, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. I really hate Bachman Turner Overdrive. Actually,
I don't. You
really?
Ain't seen nothing yet.
That one and Taking Care of Business. I mean, their songs are just.
Well, I don't really like that song.
So.
But Bachman Turner Overdrive, the son does the song. Do they do Closing Time?
No way, son.
Yeah, I think it's his son.
Super Sonic. No, something Sonic. Closing Time was done by.
Oh wait, I could be wrong then.
No, but no.
I'm conflating.
Wait, go ahead and look up
Okay.
who the son is, because I hope that's true.
About that Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Yeah,
thing?
tell me.
Okay, so the Closing Time song by Bachman Turner Overdrive is not about the band's son,
Wait.
Tal Bachman.
Oh, Tal Bachman, She's So High.
Yeah.
No. Wait.
The songs are support themes of Closing
No,
Time.
the Closing Time is
Tal Bachman, a Canadian singer, is the son of Randy Bachman, one of the founding members of Bachman Turner. He is known for his song She's
So High, yeah. But it wasn't I feel like Tal Bachman was also like something else too, like an actor. So Closing Time is something totally separate.
I'm sorry,
Closing Time. But no, but you're in the right era though. You nailed the era. It's like mid 90s.
Yeah, I just always get things confused.
No, that's good.
I mix things up a little bit.
No, it's all right. I never would have thought of that. I mean, I've heard Tal Bachman's name, but I never. Tal Bachman.
She's so high.
Yeah. He's best known for his 1999 hit, She's So High, a pop rock song from his self-titled album. He won some kind of award. His father, Randy Bachman, from Bachman Turner Overdrive.
BTO. That's what we called them back then.
Yeah, BTO.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Look at him. Very earnest face.
He's like, hey, hi.
Tal Bachman wrote the song about an experience he had in high school when he was trying to get a girl to date his stepbrother. I attempted to bribe the hottest girl in our school to go on a date with my stepbrother, Bachman told MTV News. So as the conversation between me and what I thought was this godly, exalted woman progressed, I began to feel more and more uncomfortable and awkward. And so I just remember feeling that I don't want to say fear, but just kind of being in awe of her. So he's like in awe of this girl. And
So she must have been a very sweet, lovely person. And then he felt bad trying to like bribe her into going out with his brother. It reminds me right now, I'm listening to my audiobook is about Lorne Michaels.
Oh, Lorne Michaels, yeah. The SNL,
yes.
Father of SNL.
I'm so obsessed.
Is he true? Is he, he's retiring? Is that true? He's stepping away after 50 years?
Is he?
I think so. I think he announced that, although unclear what that really means. Okay, I think we're about to wrap up here. I do want to say this, though, about, so Lyin Eyes was on One of These Nights, the album One of These Nights.
Yeah.
Their next album, or the next thing they released the year after, was The Greatest Hits, 1971 to 75.
Wait, is Lyin Eyes a top 100 in this year?
No, I looked it up. It's not.
Is it ever?
No.
It never hit the top 100?
No.
That is crazy. That is so annoying.
Yeah.
That song, it could be a top 100 right now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that song.
It is surprising. The Greatest Hits album, though. Sorry, I just want to add this before we get out of here.
This is a good album.
The Greatest Hits. So this is the first compilation album by the Eagles. It's all their singles from 72 to 75. The album has the distinction of being the first album to receive a platinum certification from the Recording Industry Association of America, which was introduced that year. It was ranked number 4 on Billboard's year-end chart for 76 and spent 455 weeks on the Billboard Top 200 as of September 21st, 2024.
Good job, deservedly.
And it has been certified 38 times platinum.
It deserves
which would make it the best-selling album of the 20th century. It has surpassed Thriller.
Good. But can I just say something about this album?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a sad thing because how I was raised so religiously. So there was a radio 64 KFI, and they would have like radio contests all the time. Call in when you hear the next Eagles song.
Perfect. Yeah.
And even in elementary school, I loved the Eagles. And so I was like, I called in, and I was the 11th caller or whatever the thing was. I think it was 11, if I remember right. And so I won this album and like 7 other albums or something. Maybe not 7, but I like.
don't know if I've ever met anyone who ever won a call in.
Yeah, and they sent me the albums, and I was in elementary school. I was at my friend Rhonda Smith's house, and I called from her house. I remember everything about it so clearly. Like, we're so little, maybe 11, graduated 6th grade or whatever. Maybe we just were, but so. Anyway, I won the album, but because I was so religious, this thing that happened was things started going badly for me. I don't know what all happened. I'm 11. Okay, so how bad can things go? But to me, I felt like everything was going wrong. And I had gone to Solvang with my grandma and grandpa, and they bought me a stuffed unicorn, even though my grandma said unicorns were from the devil. But she did still let me get the stuffed unicorn. And I loved the little stuffed unicorns. And then I won these albums. I don't remember how many I won. So, and this was one of them. And Witchy Woman is on this song or on this album. Okay. So in my 11-year-old mind, I thought that God was mad at me for the unicorn and this Witchy Woman song. And so I brought this stack of albums and the unicorn to my next door neighbor, Scott Rector, and I gave them to him. So they were out of my house, and then I apologized to God.
Oh.
And then my dad died the next year, so I don't think things went any better for me.
Oh. How did you get the albums, though? How did they just mail them to you?
Yeah.
But your parents were okay with a stack of records showing up in the mail?
Yeah, I remember my dad bought me Minnie Riperton.
No, I know, but I thought your mom would have been like, "This is way too much." I'll stat.
No, I mean, my mom
Secular
actually
going
loved Peter, Paul, and Mary and Carpenters. So she had like certain things she liked. And so she didn't have anything against the Eagles. And so when I won these Eagles hits
on.
at
Yeah.
these Eagles albums,
Yeah.
it was fine. And they kind of thought it was funny.
Okay.
But yeah, it was, I personally, of my own accord, like decided that I had angered God and gave them to Scott Rector, my neighbor.
Oh, Scott, if you're out there listening.
Scott, I don't know if you remember me. I would spend the night, we would spend the night together. We were little best friends.
I wonder if he has any of these records still.
No, I'm sure he does not.
Yeah. This has got to be one of the first like greatest hits albums.
Uh,
I mean, people weren't making, which I think that to me, that's when I think of the Eagles. That is one thing I kind of think of, is they have this sort of commercial smart about them. You know, they, for example, they saw the writing on the wall. You know, they break up in 1980. And by the late 80s, early 90s, you know, concert ticket prices are very low, even as late as the late 80s. It's very, very cheap to go to a concert. But then it starts to really take off. And it's where Ticketmaster gets into the game and by 93, 94, bands like the Eagles realize, like, holy shit, if we reunite, we can make a ton of money.
Yvette and I went to the Hell
Freezes Over. And Hell
and
Freezes
we
Over.
saw them live.
Along with Fleetwood Mac, that was the blueprint for these bands to get back together and tour, because they were raking in money.
Yeah.
You saw Hell Freezes Over.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I would have loved to have seen that. I had that album, and I was like fucking 14 or something.
Yvette is my best friend, everyone. Yeah, we went and we like, how did we go? I feel like someone bought us tickets.
Where did you see it?
LA.
The Forum, was it?
Maybe somewhere in LA. I have no geographical skills.
Yeah,
So we saw them I remember we saw them in Los Angeles, and I remember I had to pee on the drive up. And there was nowhere to pee. So like these memories of mine. But I also remember like we got stoned, and I mean it was just, I remember wishing I had Depends on because I didn't want to leave to go pee. Like
The Hell Freezes Over, you know, I remember thinking, like, I love that album. That you know, they made like I don't know which show they recorded for the CD, but like it was great because they were still, like, their voices were still great.
oh my God, when they did one of these nights,
Yeah.
like also the entire audience is singing. Like that's the thing. Like everyone can sing along. I also went to the Rolling Stones, and that was so insane. Like when everyone's singing Sympathy for the Devil and hoo, 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 it's to me one of the most like connecting a group of people, like how many of us were there like singing that song at the same time.
Yeah.
It was when the torch was lit for the Olympics. Like, so there was a torch.
Yeah, 84, the 84 games when
Okay,
the
so that's when
passed,
I must have seen the Stones, because
the torch passed through the.
there was some.
It arrived in LA, right? Because the torch makes its trip around the country and then it arrives in the city.
Yeah,
so that must have been like summer of 84,
maybe,
or
like
late spring. The torch usually arrives at the start of the games.
My friend Kelly peed in a lace sport sack on the way there. Like there's because I grew up in Orange County, so I lived in Orange County when we go to these concerts in LA. And so you have to pee. And that by the time you get there, they need porta potties like on the side of the road of concerts, because there's so many issues. Like I
could stand up potties on the side of the road.
In so many disgusting bathrooms that I imagine they have like cameras. Like, but Kelly peed in a lace sport sack, and I just have to say, hey, Lay Sports back. It held the pee. She zipped it up and threw the pee out the window.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love that you got to see them. Chuck Klosterman made this point about the Greatest Hits album. He said that the Greatest Hits album of the Eagles, which is, gone 38 times platinum, he said it's one of the rare albums, big albums, that has benefited from the fact that listening to music went from records to tapes to CDs because people had to rebuy their favorite albums. If you really, really loved an album,
that's a good point.
you'd rebuy it in
Yes.
that format. And this because it was so popular. He says the multi-platinum status has been inflated by people having to rebuy it.
I would
new
argue
formats.
with Chuck about that. Like, if he's saying it's benefited from that, no. Everybody wanted to own it.
Yeah, no. I don't think he wasn't criticizing it like that makes it. No, I think he just was saying like it's so popular, but it was in the context of the discussion of the move to a CD.
Yeah, well, you got to, roll with the times. So
Yeah.
now it's a CD.
But the fact that somebody would want to keep this over.
You want to own this. You always want to own this.
Yeah.
Now it's Spotify. Like, I'm so stoked I can listen to it at any moment and any song. Like, I will put this album on
Artists.
still.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so great.
Yeah.
Okay, we
I think we leave you there.
too long.
Yeah, I think
We went over. You'll edit. Dan edits.
I edit out stuff. But really quickly here, we're going to leave you on the track list from Eagles' Greatest Hits, 71 to 75.
Every single song on this, every word. Everyone.
If you had the LP, I always love it. It's funny too to me when albums have different configurations of songs depending on the format, because LPs versus cassettes versus CDs could hold different amounts of music.
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I realized this as a kid because my parents had Billy Joel's Greatest Hits, and then when I heard it on CD, it had more songs because they'd had to shrink it for the tape.
Oh.
Or maybe originally it had it on the vinyl. They shrunk it for the cassette and they brought it back for the CD. Anyway, the track listing on this: Take It Easy,
Yeah.
Witchy Woman, Lyin Eyes,
Lyin Eyes.
Already Gone,
Oh my God.
Desperado.
Yes.
Side 2, One of These Nights, Tequila Sunrise, Take It to the Limit, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Best of My Love.
I could
10
sing
songs.
all of these songs to you except Witchy Woman because I always thought it was demonic. But I know Witchy Woman too, but not by heart. So good. Like every song.
Yeah.
So good.
Like every episode of this podcast.
So good.
All right, y'all. Tune in next time.
Okay, love you, babe.
Love you.
Hope we don't break up.
What?
Well, I'm just saying then we'll still have to continue with our podcast.
Oh, yeah, we can come back together and